Now, a great story doesn't tell everything to its audience, which is why so many amazing video game titles come with a fair share of unanswered mysteries that pique the curiosity of their fans and make them obsessed with trying to answer them. It's just a shame then that some mysteries don't ever seem to get solved. But luckily, in the cases we're exploring today, the mysteries were solved, but not until years or even decades later. Still, we'll take what we can get right. And so let's have a chat about them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 infuriating video game mysteries finally resolved years later. Number 10. Vasha is the target. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Despite being well over a decade old, Skyrim is still filled with mysteries that fans just can't seem to get an answer to. And one of these unanswered questions is the matter of the contract on one of the people that you have to kill during your initiation into the Dark Brotherhood. Now, there are 3 potential victims: the cowardly mercenary Fultheim, the angry housewife Alaire, and the Khajiit thief named Vasha. Each kidnapped person can tell you why someone would want them dead, but aside from that, the game doesn't give you any more insight as to who the Brotherhood contracted you to kill. Over the years, fans have made plenty of guesses as to who done it, even going as far as to suggest that all the kidnappees have the contract or that there is no contract at all. However, it does turn out that the game does give you a pretty definitive clue as to who your target is. Some of Skyrim's fans have figured out that if you use the clairvoyance spell with the initiation quest active, the magic will point to Vasha, meaning that he is secretly the right target. So if you aim to spill blood the right way, this cocky Khajiit is your dead man. Number 9. Entry to the HMCS Bitter is found decades later. Legacy of Kain. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain is an old RPG from 1996 that wasn't really talked about all that much, until an interview with one of the game's creators revealed a huge secret that took the internet by storm. For years, Legacy of Kain's greatest mystery was HMCS Bitter, a hidden ship level that the game's fans were able to discover by data mining files back in 2010. The ship, despite being a fully modeled and functional level, seems to have no legitimate entrance, which is why Legacy of Kain's community began making theories about it. Some considered it to be scrapped content that was close to being finished, while others theorized there really was an entrance to the ship after all. The latter party spent almost a decade trying to search for a way in until 2017, in an interview, creator Dennis Dyack revealed that players could enter the ship by flipping 4 invisible switches that were scattered throughout the world map. Afterwards, the community was able to solve the puzzle, although it did take them 3 additional years to find the switches, and the secret of HMCS Bitter was finally put to rest. Well, better 20 years later than never, right? Number 8. We accidentally learned what Metal Gear's impossible ending was. Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear Solid 5's solved mystery is a pretty interesting case, as the answer to everyone's burning questions was answered due to nothing more than a simple mistake on Konami's end. The mystery regarded the secret nuke disarmament ending, which was supposed to only trigger after every single MGS5 player got rid of their in-game nuclear weapons. The bar was obviously set quite high, as this kind of universal disarmament would have to overcome several obstacles, such as new players joining in, and of course trolls who could just hold on to their nukes just to spite everyone else. For this reason, the secret ending remained an impossibility and drove many players to instead theorize as to what it was actually like. But then, a happy little accident occurred. 5 years after Metal Gear Solid 5's release, some of the players reported seeing the secret ending in their game. Not because everyone gave up their nukes, mind you, but because those lucky few people came across a bug that allowed them to circumnavigate the nigh impossible trigger requirements and unlock the ending for everyone to see. So if you ever saw the ending somewhere online or in your game, you have a buggy script to thank for it. Number 7. The true meaning behind Calendar Man's message. Batman Arkham City. The Batman Arkham series is pretty much infamous when it comes to unsolved mysteries. The most well-known of these is the hidden room in Batman Arkham Asylum's warden office that players discovered only after the developers revealed its existence. Luckily, fans were more successful with deciphering the hidden message from Calendar Man in Batman Arkham City, although it also took them several infuriating years to find, filled with all the questions but no answers. You see, shortly after Arkham City hit the shelves, some players discovered that if you change your device's clock to the date when Rocksteady, the studio behind the Arkham series, was created, which is 13th of December 2004, it caused Calendar Man to deliver a special message. I was there at the beginning, and I'll be there at your end. The cryptic nature of these words has stirred quite the conversation amongst the series' fans, but their definitive true meaning was finally discovered years later with the release of Arkham Knight. In the game's ending, spoiler alert incoming, as Bruce Wayne's manor blows up, you can see Calendar Man within the crowd watching the explosion and the definitive end of Batman's myth. It turns out being at your end was more literal than everyone else thought. Number 6. The ghost of Mount Chiliad is a murdered wife. Grand Theft Auto 5. Mount Chiliad is a location in Grand Theft Auto 5 that is shrouded in mystery and an ocean of speculation, and it's all due to one Easter egg that has sparked the inquisitive minds of the game's fanbase. The secret in question is the eerie appearance of a ghost on one of the mountain's cliffs. This is one spooky spectre, despite being nothing more than a 2D sprite, but it did leave quite the impression on a lot of people, so much so that they even set up a whole Reddit community dedicated to figuring out the true identity of the spirit. The subreddit has spent years gathering all the possible clues and sources from the game, and eventually they did come up with a full official answer as to who the ghost is. It turns out that this is the spirit of Jolene Cranley Evans, the late wife of one Los Santos' mayoral candidates, Jock Cranley, who murdered her while they were out hiking. There are actually full in-game articles about the circumstances of the murder on GTA 5's internet, and if you connect them with the blood-written clues provided by the ghost, the full picture of the crime becomes quite obvious. Number 5. There is no Bigfoot. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Despite being mostly grounded in reality, except that is when you're using a bloody jetpack to fly around, the Grand Theft Auto franchise loves to include Easter eggs related to the supernatural. And it is this exact fondness for the weird that has led GTA San Andreas fans to create one of the most infuriating urban myths that has gotten so bad that the developers had to release an official statement to put all speculation to rest. We are, of course, talking about the infamous Bigfoot. Around the same time San Andreas was getting flack for its controversial hot coffee mod, which added animated sex into the game, there was another huge San Andreas rumor taking the internet by storm, that there was an alleged Bigfoot in this game. Complete with conspiracy theories and a blurry image of the creature, the rumor was about as mysterious and false as actual Bigfoot sightings. Fans of the game would dedicate hours to trying to find proof of the hairy simian and arguing about whether or not there was something to search for at all. At some point, the other myth had garnered so much attention that Rockstar themselves had to release a statement saying that there was no Bigfoot in the game. Too bad they can't make a claim like that about the real deal, right? Number 4. The truth behind Karazan Crypt's forgotten room isn't as creepy as everyone thought. World of Warcraft. Now, there are many fantastical and spooky places in World of Warcraft, but only a few of them manage to fascinate and scare people in real life as well. One of these places used to be an empty chamber in Karazan Crypt, which made the World of Warcraft community erupt with questions and urban myths for years. You see, back in vanilla World of Warcraft, the location in question was a hidden empty room in a dungeon that was distinct from all other points on the map due to its somewhat unsettling decor. The crypt was filled to the brim with skeletons, like some sort of necromancer's closet, and there was a pool of blood in the middle. For years, people wondered as to what the purpose of this forgotten crypt was. Some speculated it contained a hidden puzzle, while others thought it was a piece of scrapped content that was removed due to its disturbing imagery. All of these rumors were answered in 2014, though, when World of Warcraft community manager Vasha admitted that the room was simply scrapped because the team didn't know what to do with it. Well, that's a bit anticlimactic, but hey, thanks to the rumors, the crypt became so famous that Blizzard added an actual puzzle into it to finish it off. Number 3. The hauntings in the swamp are related to a double homicide. Red Dead Redemption 2. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 features its own paranormal ghost mystery. In fact, Rockstar's Wild West take on the formula is a lot more complex and detailed, which is why it took fans way more effort to bring all of its detail to light. In the swamp of Blue Water Marsh, there's a ghastly figure that appears to spook any passerby late at night. Shortly after the presence of the ghost became well known, plenty of the game's players decided to dedicate their time and effort in order to uncover every possible secret related to her. Over the years, and with the help of in-game clues, hidden notes, and following the ghost's own hints at specific hours of the night, the community was finally able to piece together a full story. The ghost, named Agnes Dowd, was a rich heiress who doomed herself to haunt the site of her death after she shot her father in revenge for him killing her estranged lover. Following more clues in the game, the players were also able to determine where Agnes was buried, as well as where she was born. At this point, her story is pretty well known, but for a while, this ghost was a mystery that bothered everyone who spotted her. Number 2. Black Monolith solved, but no one knows why. Fez. Fez is a cutesy game in which you go from room to room in order to solve puzzles, until that is you reach the Black Monolith, aka Fez's, if not the entire gaming world's greatest unsolved mystery. When Fez was originally released, the Black Monolith puzzle quickly gained a reputation for being unbeatable. The chamber gave no hints as to what the player was supposed to do, and every input you gave seemed to have no effect. The puzzle stumped every player that came across it, and since the room itself was quite ominous with its giant black artifact looking above the player at all times, it eventually caused the Fez community to begin theorizing about it. Entire subreddits teamed up to either try to solve the puzzle or discuss whether there was even a puzzle at all. Finally, through a little bit of of code cracking, some dedicated fans discovered a solution to the puzzle, putting most of the speculation to rest. But that being said, it's still unknown to this day what the logic behind the puzzle is. It just seems like every answer just births more questions, but at least it's nice to know that the Monolith room can actually be solved. And number 1, we know what happened to the Dwarfs. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. One of the greatest mysteries in the Elder Scrolls series is the disappearance of the Dwarfs. The entire race faded from existence hundreds of years ago, and since no one in any of the Elder Scrolls title knows anything about it, it has led fans to create a number of theories that have only evolved over the years. The thing is, though, that the secret isn't really that much of a secret, as the third installment of the series, Morrowind, features a whole mission specifically dedicated to discovering what happened. Called Mystery of the Dwarfs, the quest requires you to figure out what happened to the dwarfs by translating 3 rare texts on the matter. There are 2 ways of completing this quest. The first is to give the books to the only expert on the Dwarven language in Morrowind, and the other is to give it to the last living Dwemer, Yangram Bagan, and this choice actually provides some big insight. Though Yangram is reluctant to talk about the texts, he implies that the dwarves used the god engine they created to take themselves out of existence after they found that this world isn't real. Ooh. That's quite meta, isn't it? And also, there's loads more questions now. Cheers! Now there we go, my friends. Those were 10 infuriating video game mysteries finally resolved years later. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Blue Sky, where it's at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. Hope to speak to you soon. Hope you're treating yourself well, and I'll catch you in a bit. Bye.